Éehud Ölemert was Israel's prime minister at the time of the 2006 invasion, and he joins us now. And I do want to spend a bit of time with you reflecting on what happened back in 2006 and the lessons learned. But Israel today has set returning the residents of the north back to their homes as a goal of this war. Do you believe that the action today, the assassination of the Hezbollah chief and many of his commanders, and the potential for a full-on war on Hezbollah using ground troops, if that is the decision, is the right move to restore security, sir?
Well, I think that the action against the commandment of Hezbollah, the Nصرالله and the other commanders was inevitable. They started the war on the 8th of October without any provocation. They made it clear from the outset that they have nothing against us. They just want to help the Hamas. And they were shooting rockets, maybe sometimes 300 a day for a long time. And they forced out more than 80,000 of the Israeli residents in the north away from their homes. So it was inevitable. We had to respond. We have to reach out. We have to try and change the balance. But if you ask me whether this is a game changer in the sense that it can resolve comprehensively all the problems and create an entirely new situation in Lebanon, I don't think so. I wish, by the way, perhaps against your judgment before, that the outcome of this war will be similar to the one that was in 2006. We had for 17 years, there was not one bullet shot from across the border from Lebanon to the state of Israel. What a great outcome it may have been if we had a similar situation right now, that for 17 years there will not be any Hezbollah threat to the state of Israel. But I don't think that this is where we are now. So the question is, and this is, I guess, what you are interested in, is whether we will now start a ground operation, what may be the outcome of this ground operation. I quite frankly don't think that the ground operation is a solution to the problem. I think that make use of the weakening of Hezbollah now and a certain disarray which took place as a result of the targeting of Nصرالله and the others, and also all the events which took place before, the pagers, the walkie-talkies, the elimination of some of the other commanders, whether Israel took responsibility or not, but it happened, it weakened the Hezbollah, and perhaps this is the time where a concerted effort by the Lebanese government, by the State of Israel, by America and by France to build up the military power of the Lebanese army to squeeze inside Lebanon the Hezbollah and to try to deprive them of their positions and military capacities within Lebanon is what we should do in coordination with the State of Israel and in an agreement which will the 74
Mr. Ölemert, with respect, that is, you know how weakened that Lebanese army is. So long term, that might be an option. That isn't an option. There is no way that Lebanese army can be bolstered with sufficient capability anytime soon. Look, Netanyahu's critics, both here and abroad, say that this is him trying to prolong a forever war. And I know that you've been an arch critic to keep his far-right coalition on board, but many others are supporting his decision to go after Hassan Nasrallah and his commanders and to keep up that momentum. You don't agree that that is where he should go from here on in. What's the alternative at this point? I mean, a ceasefire proposal tabled by the US and France has gone nowhere at this point. A diplomatic solution doesn't seem to be in the toolbox for the Israeli Prime Minister at this point.
There is no solution to stop the war in the north or in the south which will be acceptable to the Prime Minister of Israel. So I'd be in a very comfortable position that you ask me what do you think of the Prime Minister of Israel? But I don't want to spell it out now because this is not what I want to say. What I want to say is that we have to stop the war in the south, and I think we have reached the objective that we set out that we could achieve in the south, and there is nothing more that is worth the cost of fighting in the south, particularly the danger to the lives of the hostages which are still alive and which we may have brought them back in part of an agreement to cease fire in the south and pull out. What we need to do in the north, we need to create a certain platform together with France and with the United States and the United Nations and an international force, and a robust international force, different from the one that staying now in the south of Lebanon, and in coordination with the Lebanese government, that will and to resolve all the outstanding issues between us and the Lebanese about the borderline and the Shiva farms, which are minor issues that can be resolved, I think, and to establish a certain process that will allow the Hezbollah to move, the weakened Hezbollah, the devastated Hezbollah, not the Hezbollah of a year ago, after the terrible impact that it went through with all the events which took place in the last few weeks, in order to move them out away across from the Litani River in the north. This will not resolve all the issue, but it will open up for an opportunity to build up the necessary political powers and the military powers within Lebanon, which may change the balance there. But in the meantime, it will allow Israel to bring back the citizens of the north into where they live. I think that this is something that can be done. Do you ask me whether Netanyahu agrees to it? Do you think that, or do you wonder whether Netanyahu will be ready to conclude the military operations in the south and the military operations in the north and sit down and start to think? That is, I think, beyond him. I don't think he wants it. I don't think he is capable of it. I don't think that he is ready yet to face all the other challenges which awaits him and to conclude the war. So it's here our call to put the fighting back to the mud of Lebanon, and I prefer not to even think what may be the possible ramifications for us.